Man, I got here early because I thought it would be empty and I'd be able to film in peace, but this park is packed with a bunch of parents and kids for some kind of sporting event, so we're gonna try anyways. I guess this is just gonna force me to get used to talking to the camera in front of people and looking like an idiot, so here we go. I'm kind of hiding in the car to talk right now, but like I promised, in this episode, I'm going to be starting a mini-series about self-filming. And in this episode, we're going to be learning 3 different techniques, how to film lines or runs or whatever you want to call it, just a series of tricks in a row. And obviously the best way to film a line is to have someone follow you with the fisheye lens or even long angle, but if you don't have a friend with you or someone to film, these are some techniques that you could use to get some high quality video. Before we get started, there's a couple pieces of equipment that I use. You don't necessarily need these, but they'll definitely help you and make your video look better. So what I use is a fisheye lens, and I have a super wide one. I think it's like 235 degrees. And then also I have a tripod that doubles as a selfie stick. So like I said, you don't necessarily need these things, but they'll definitely make your videos look better and help you out. Here's the fisheye that I'm using on my iPhone again, and it is a Aki Optic Pro if you want to get it. And this is my tripod slash selfie stick combo, and it's made by Smutry. I think that's how you say it. So before we get started with the first technique, I'm gonna warm up a little bit. Alright, for this first technique, you're gonna need your selfie stick and your fisheye, and I kind of hold it like this when I'm skating. First of all, don't do this. This type of filming is really dangerous. You could easily break your phone. You could slap it on the ledge or drop it on the ground or fall on it. So I'm putting a warning out right here. Use this style of filming at your own risk. I'm not responsible for anyone breaking their phone. When I film like this, I like to hold the camera as low as possible and kind of angle it upward so you get your whole body in the shot. And if you look at the shadow, you could kind of see how my phone's tilted at an angle upward in some of these shots. I think using the selfie stick and the fisheye look a lot better, but you could do this any way you want. You could hold it in your hand if you think that looks better. Hold it straight over the board. However you want to do it. Here's another example of the style of filming that I threw in here from the other day. If you want to see the full screen version of this clip, you can check it out on my shorts here on YouTube. So before I forget, I like to film these fisheye clips in full frame 4:3 aspect ratio. And if you have an old iPhone, you can do this with the Clips app. If you have a newer iPhone, you can go to the camera app in photo mode and swipe the record button to the right, and you can get the full frame of the fisheye lens. Alright, for technique number 2, you're going to put your camera and you're going to place it probably like 10 feet behind the last area of where you're going to do your last trick. And we're gonna do the rest in editing. So I'm gonna place my camera and I'll show you how we're gonna do it right here. So my beginning point is gonna be at the end of the skate park where the grass is over there, and my end point is gonna be right around where this ledge is in the front. This works really good for a flat ground trick, so that's probably what I'm gonna do right now. So as you can see, the camera's zooming out right here, and it looks like someone's there with you filming. And with these techniques, this is how I do it, but I encourage all of you to be creative and come up with your own ideas. And if I missed any techniques for self-filming, please let me know in the comments. Now that I've explained how to film, I'm going to go over the editing side of things. I'm using DaVinci Resolve today. I got all my clips imported, but you can do this with just about any editing software. It's not really that advanced of a technique, so pretty much anything you use will have this built into it. I'm using DaVinci Resolve. It's free if you want to get it. It also has a paid version, but the free version, honestly, you won't even notice the limitations. But if you're using a mobile device, I like to use this app called Splice, made by GoPro. It's honestly, in my opinion, the best editor on mobile, so check it out if you want. Or if you don't like those, any other editor should have this. Alright, so I dragged my clip down here in the timeline. I already did this. I trimmed the beginning and I trimmed the end to have the clip how I want it, so I'm just going to play it once. All right, so that's pretty boring as it is, but what we're gonna do is use something called Ken Burns, and in DaVinci Resolve it's called dynamic zoom, and we're gonna turn it on right here. And it basically makes it look like the camera's zooming in while someone's filming. So it makes it look like someone's there with you filming, but they're really not, so it's kind of cool. Let me turn this on too, that way we can see the beginning point is this green box, the end point is this red box. So I want the beginning point to be really close. And it's good to film this like in a high resolution, that way when you zoom in it doesn't look all pixelated. But with my phone I kind of have to film with 1080 at 30 frames per second because I don't have enough storage. So if you have a better phone, I would suggest filming in 4K if you can. Alright, so I'm gonna start right there, center it a little bit better, and then my endpoint, I just want it completely zoomed out, so we already got that. So now let's see what it looks like. So like I said, see, it kind of looks pixelated, but if you film in like 4K it will look a lot better. But see, this is way more dynamic and it looks like someone's filming you. And that's about it. So I'm gonna do this again with another clip. I'm just gonna drag this one in here and I gotta trim it. It's gonna take me a minute, so I'll just cut to the next clip after I finish trimming this. Okay, I got the second clip trimmed and let's watch it. And these aren't the greatest clips, but I just wanted to throw a few of these lines together just to give you an example. Okay, so let's do the dynamic zoom or Ken Burns and other editing software. I'm gonna start at the beginning and I'm gonna drag this start point to where I want it. I like it really zoomed in to get close. And then I'm gonna leave the end point where it is. And let's see what it looks like now. All right, there we go. And again, that looks so much better than it did to begin with. And I'm just gonna do a couple more clips. Okay, I got the next clips cut. Threw this one in there just for filler. And then we got the line right here. Okay, so now let's add the Ken Burns or dynamic zoom, whatever you want to call it. And go back to the beginning of the clip. Zoom in one more time. I'm gonna pull this one back a little bit. And then we're gonna keep the endpoint where it is. And let's see it again. All right, and there we go. All right, for this last technique, you're gonna need a tripod or something to prop up your phone. And this is honestly my favorite technique because it's the most fun. It's not like a regular line. You can do your trick and then pause and then go do another trick and just string them all together. And this is all gonna be done in editing. So you're gonna position your camera in front of the obstacle, the first obstacle that you're gonna skate, and you're gonna move the camera progressively further to the next obstacle and the next obstacle and make it look like you're skating in a line. So you'll see what I mean when we get into the video. So right here in the first shot, you can see I positioned the camera behind me, and then we switch over to another angle and I finish that trick. Then I switch angles again and we go over here for a tail slide, and I switch angles again. And then finally I switch angles one more time just to show the trick again. And right here I threw in another example from the other night that I also put in my shorts if you want to see the full screen version of this. Okay, I got my new clips imported and let's trim them a little bit. But with this type of technique, it's all about planning ahead and thinking about how you want the video to look first before you record. I'm just gonna trim the beginning and the ends. Okay, I got 5 clips and I trimmed them all just about how I want them. So let's see how that looks right now. Alright, not too bad. I'm going to trim them up just a little bit more to get them perfect, but that's all this type of editing is about, just trimming it and making it look right. Alright, I think I got it how I want it. Let's watch it one more time.
So when you're editing like this, you just want to make sure that everything looks right and the timing's right from when you roll past the camera to the next clip. And I think that looks pretty good. But if you want to get a little more crazy with it, you could combine this with the technique I just showed you with the Ken Burns or the dynamic zoom. So I'm going to go over that too. So we got to do this clip by clip. I'm going to enable the dynamic zoom over here. And then we're going to set our start point. I think I'm going to flip it. So I want my start point to be on the very edge. My end point. I'm going to move this over the corner. See how that one looks. Okay, so let's work on this next clip. I'm gonna swap them again. I turn on dynamic zoom. Okay, so I have my beginning point, my start point on the very outside again. And then my end point, I think I'm gonna have it right around here. Let's see how that looks. Looks pretty good to me. And then this next clip, I didn't like how I was way to the left of the camera, so I'm gonna fix that with this dynamic zoom. I'm gonna turn the dynamic zoom on first. Keep forgetting that. And I'm gonna set my start point on the outside, and I'm gonna set my end point all the way to the left so I can keep myself in the frame a little better. Alright, so I got this clip how I wanted. I couldn't do much about being so far to the left of the frame, but I think I've fixed it the best I could. So let's go to this next one, to the start point. I'm going to turn on dynamic zoom, and I'm going to flip it so the start point is on the very outside. I think I like that, and then let's see, where do I want it to end? I'm going to put it right here. Let's see how this looks. Pretty good. I think we're going to move it over to the left a little bit though. Try it one more time. Alright, there we go. I'm more centered in the screen. And then finally, we're going to work on this last clip. Not sure how I want to do this one yet. Alright, that looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna keep it like this. So let's watch the whole thing. There we go. And that looks so much better than just the stagnant still clips.
We have reached the end of the video. I hope these filming techniques help you and give you some new ideas. In my next video, I will be showing you how to film single clip shots and combine them into an edit to make them look more interesting and dynamic. Like always, I will include the links in the description for the equipment and the software I used in this video. If you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, share with your friends, and comments are always appreciated, and we'll see you next time.